The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Jesse Holley, Kurt Daniels, and Nate Newton.
Yeah, baby, we are back for Victory Tuesday. Cowboys get the dub last night. What was the final score of that game? I don't even remember.
23-16.
23-16.
Chris
that is
called that, didn't he?
He might have. That's a live look at the Tostitos Championship Plaza in front of the Ford Center. What's up, my guy? What's going on, my brother? All right, we just live. We chilling. Today's temperature is somewhere in the 80s. I love it. Nobody's out there. I don't know why no one's out there. We have people out there when there's a million degrees outside, and when the weather gets right, they don't want to be out there. But
there's two people.
It's all, they're going to the Star.
3.
But that's not why we're here. We're not here to worry about the people who are outside at the Tostitos Championship Plaza. We are here to talk about the people who were at MetLife Stadium last night and pulled out another victory. Cardiac Cooper, comeback Cooper, competitive Cooper, whatever you want to, whatever name that you may have for him, Cooper Rush does it again. For the first time since the merger in the National Football League, Cooper Rush is the first player to have 3 fourth quarter or overtime comeback victories in his first 3 starts as a quarterback. Jerry talked about a quarterback controversy. We won't talk about that on the show.
Please.
We won't talk about that on the show. But what we will talk about, Nate, we're going to talk about your boy Tyler Smith. We're going to talk about Jason Peters. He got in there for 14 snaps last night. Kurt, we're going to talk about the defense and what they've done. Dan Quinn has turned this defense from being the league leader in turnovers last year to the league leader in sacks this year. He has found a way to just keep ramping this thing up, and guys are benefiting from across the board. But we're going to start at the top of this thing. Someone, Mike, my guy Mike from New York tweeted me this, and he said, Jesse, be sure today to give Mike McCarthy and company their flowers. He said, we're always so hard on Mike McCarthy. And I had to remind him. I go, not on this show. Not me. I said, I've been the guy who has stood up for Mike McCarthy since day one. But this is a flower-giving moment, and we got to give a ton of credit off the top of this show. Mike McCarthy said a couple weeks ago, he said, when Dak Prescott went down, hey, I'm going in and I'm going to help Cooper Rush out. I'm going to go in there and help Kellen Moore out. Well, we just need to be smarter. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to see if we can't get this thing right. And Nate, Kurt, it looks like that the combination of Mike McCarthy and Cooper and Kellen Moore with Cooper Rush at the quarterback position has found ways to put this Cowboys team at 2-1, second in the NFC East, heading into a stretch where, next week it's a winnable game against the Commanders.
Sure.
You could potentially come out of this thing 3-1, depending on where Dak's at for the Rams game, 4-1. Nate, you are the, what is it? Hope springs optimism, or optimism spring. What is that saying that they say? Hope springs eternal.
Right.
Hope springs eternal. You are the most optimistic and hopeful Cowboy. It's Jerry, Steven, you and Mike, but Mike's, he just be doing it a little bit too much. And then you. How do you feel about the Cowboys after the victory last night against the New York Giants?
Well, I've always maintained that, the Giants, they're just an okay team. They got a nice offensive-minded coach as a head coach, and who's trying to help this kid, Daniel Jones. They got a nice running back, electrifying running back in Barkley. The key was their defense and trying to cater to that. They lost Leonard Williams for this game, but they still had Don Martindale, the defensive coordinator, who's seen some pretty good defenses. But they got too many holes to fill. Their offensive line, we thought it would be Parsons, but it turned out to be DeMarcus Lawrence. Dorrance Armstrong is playing lights out. This is about how I had it going into this game. If we just outlasted them, I thought the penalties would kill us, but we seemed to got past that after the first half, early third quarter. So this is where we sit, man.
Were you
looking at this
concerned
thing.
at all that it seemed like they outplayed him in that first half, but they just kept hanging around? Were you a little worried that sometimes that comes back to bite you?
That is the thing with the Giants, and that is where Don Martindale, their defensive coordinator and their head coach, Dabble, this is where they think we got to keep it muddy, we got to keep it ugly, we got to keep it close, and then we can dial up something in the fourth quarter. That's what they did against the Panthers. That's what they did against Tennessee. They tried to keep it close where they can dial up things, but we had the better players, the more complete team. I think we did the things that you have to do when you go on the road. Number one, we controlled time of possession. Thank God for the first time out of 3 games with 32 minutes and 42 seconds. They did a nice job. They ran the ball 30 times. They ran it the right way with the right players in the right places. CeeDee Lamb came to life after that drop. I think he refocused himself. And, once again, Jesse, I'm throwing this at you, man. I'm trying to figure out who Noah Brown is. Where is Noah Brown?
Like I said before, Noah Brown is somewhere in between the 95-yard game we saw in week 2 and whatever the game was we saw in week 1.
Right.
He's somewhere in between that.
So I'm saying, is this level picking up, leveling off?
No, he is.
He's just maintaining
No, he's taking advantage of opportunities.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has found ways to take complete advantage of opportunities, and that's what you want from a guy like him. Like, Noah Brown isn't someone who just got here. He's been around for 6 seasons. This is his 6th season with the Cowboys. Some of it due to injuries why he didn't play, but he has found a connection. And for those who don't think chemistry matters, connection matters, just knowing. That's what you get with Noah Brown and Cooper Rush in practice every day.
Yeah.
These guys work the most. And even though you can go to the DAC yard all you want in the summertime, when you're doing all those practice reps plus scout team reps, there is a level of connectivity that you have with a quarterback. And I think he and Cooper Rush have found that pretty good rhythm. And so, again, I still think he is a combination of Game 1 and Game 2. I mean, and even last night he had what? He had
54 yards, 5 catches.
So 5 catches for 54 yards. That's essentially what you want from your number 3 receiver.
Yeah,
right. The thing that amazes me, man, is that these guys are. I don't rank the Giants, and I think nobody else besides the New York faithful ranked them pretty high.
Right.
But to go on the road, and once again, Jess, this is for you, my friend. This kid, Cooper Rush, gets the ball out of his hand, good or bad. He gets that ball out of his hands, man.
Yeah, and I think for Cooper Rush, he has found what works for him.
Yes.
And kudos to, like I said to start the show, Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore for continuing to give him the opportunities to do what he does best. And I think when you're talking about coaching and playing and coaching and how that marriage works, we look at what happened last year with Dan Quinn and Micah Parsons. That was a marriage that worked because Dan Quinn had figured out what buttons that I can push, how much I can push him. Because remember, early on in the season last year, Micah was doing all of these different things, and he was the green dot, right? He was the green dot's the guy who calls the defense on the field. And then it got to the point where he said,
Too much.
It's too much.
Yeah.
He said, okay, what strings do I have to pull? Do I keep him? Okay, here's what we're going to do. Micah, because we want you to do so many different things, take the green dot away from you. You no longer have to worry about those things. What has it done? It's freed him up to be more of who he is. I think the same thing is happening right now with Cooper Rush and Kellen Moore. It's really finding that chemistry on what to call, how to call it, and to Cooper Rush's credit, because I can call no offensive coordinator in the history of the National Football League has ever drawn up a play that didn't result in a touchdown.
Right.
There isn't one. There isn't one offense coordinator going to say, hey, this play is a 5-yard play. So every time no. Every OC says, hey, if we get this, and this, house call. If we do this, and this, house call. So you can call a play, but to have the guy execute it or have the men execute the play, that's the different part. And I think what Cooper Rush has done is that when those plays are being called, he's making a definitive decision. And like you said, right or wrong, that's where I'm going.
Sounds
if the
like it's
reset
right.
for this, I'm going there. The reset for that, I'm going there. And I'm living with whatever the results are.
Yeah.
And
Right
for these games, it's working.
Yeah, right now his time to throw, which is I guess how quick he's getting rid of it, is 2.46 seconds, which is second fastest in the league right now, only behind Tom Brady.
And brother, to me, now I'm not a quarterback, but I'm an offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that is paradise. That means I get on the dude, boom, I'm mauling, boom, and it's over.
Right.
We go to the next play. Your receivers saying, I got to get where I'm supposed to be because this guy's delivering this ball. I got to run this route. And that is the precision. Now, and my question to you, brother, is this is how, when our number one come back, this is how this thing should be ran.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Wait a minute. You're not going to just slide that in on us.
No, I'm asking you. I just said I ask you. Is this not where it's supposed to be with our number one? That
Oh, you mean our number one quarterback?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought he meant number one receiver. I thought it was Michael Gallup. I was like, well, you ain't going to just slide that one.
No.
I apologize.
Yeah, is it that supposed to be that type of precision with our number one too? I mean, and maybe I'm just.
I would think so. The way they're the run, what they're doing, what way they're calling plays.
Yes.
I think it has to, like you said from the beginning, you play towards your defense and you set up the quarterback with the run, all that kind of stuff. It has to continue.
Jesse?
Yeah, I mean, you would want that, right? This is what you want. You want the ability to still have that same fluidity, that same rhythm, that same type of composure, that same type of productivity. Now, granted, you also want to score more points. Mm-hmm. You want to score more points. And how you score more points is you take more opportunities. You take more shots down the field. You hold on the ball just a little bit longer to allow that route to develop down the field. So all those things, and I think because the question of the day has been, what makes Dak different from Cooper? What makes Cooper different from Dak? And trying to do these similarities. I think the biggest thing is it's mobility. Mm. And I know that Dak isn't running like you would want him to, like rookie Dak, like you always say.
Yeah, instinctive Dak.
But his mobility and his strength, lower leg strength, overall strength, gives him that ability to get outside the pocket, extend plays, allows him to shed off, would-be sack or tacklers, and his ability to get out on the run and deliver the ball down the field. That's when you see those big plays happen. And when you get those big chunk plays, it eliminates you having to get small chunks and work your way down the field. So I think those are some of the things that are different between the two. But to your points, you do want to have that level of continuity. And what you're seeing with the offensive line, Kurt, is
2.46 time.
2.46 time.
Brady's the only quicker one, 2.4.
That means wide receivers are running correct routes. That means offensive line is getting their initial blocks, but it ain't coming to a reset because he's getting it out so quick.
Right.
So, this I said it when I saw him play in the first game, and maybe I didn't see it this past week because Tampa Bay is hurt up and beat up real bad, but maybe it was because Tampa Bay was so on us in the first game till we didn't see everybody being who they are, and maybe the Giants are so bad that the CD Lambs of the world can do what he does.
Last year, Dak, and he was this in the first game too, he's about 2.75. So it's not a huge difference, but still, I mean, that is it just Dak's trying to do more, look for bigger things, or is Cooper just like, I'm getting rid of it, I'm going here, it doesn't matter. Here we go.
I think Cooper's more just, hey, here's what I'm doing. The play is, if we get this coverage, I'm going there. Mm-hmm. If we get this coverage, I'm going here. If all that fails, I'm checking the ball down. And he is stuck to his guns on that.
Right.
And that is the gift and the curse to having a young, inexperienced quarterback and someone who's a veteran.
Right.
Because a vet's always going to have in the back of their mind, I can make that throw, I can make that play, I can hit that home run. A guy like Cooper Rush who's just saying, hey, I just want to be productive. I'm not looking to be the $40 million man. I just, if coach say the ball's supposed to go there, that's where the ball's going. And then I'll go to the sideline and I'll go, well, what happened? Well, I saw this read, I saw that read. You said go there in practice. That's where I went. You know what I'm saying? And so that part about it, just doing what you're taught to do, doing what you're taught to do and told to do till you get the freedom to kind of do your own thing, that's what you want to evolve to. That's where Aaron Rodgers evolved to. That's what Tom Brady evolved to. If you go back and you watch early Tom Brady and early Drew Brees and early Aaron Rodgers, they were doing what they were supposed to do until they got the freedom to go out there and do the different things that you see the number one quarterbacks do now.
Yeah.
And now, late in their careers, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and all the better quarterbacks in the league say, you know what? And you said in the first game, I don't have to do nothing real special. I'm going to hand this ball to number 7, and I'm going to toss these little quick passes. See, the game is still about being efficient and rhythm. Mm-hmm. And that is what we have to get back to. When Dak come back, get back to being efficient, get back to your rhythm, get back to being decisive. And I'm saying maybe the first game because we were hyped. I'm talking about the Cowboys and the Bucks. They were hyped. Mm-hmm. So the game got ugly real quick for the Cowboys. But this is the rhythm we need. These are the things that I think Dak is on the sideline saying, I'm talking about the smart quarterback.
Right.
Okay. Because you got to look a little bit forward. We are playing beatable teams. And I ain't talking about the Cincinnatis of the world or the Bucks. I'm talking about this Commanders team that's coming up. Now, the team after that may not be a pushover, but
Right. No, you're absolutely right. This segment was brought to you by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Tyler Smith. We're going to talk about Jason Peters and that offensive line, something that was good, that was bad. And then we're going to go over to what I've believed that this team's strength has now become is that Dan Quinn defense, and how they're just pressuring people like no other. So stay with us. Come on back. Victory Tuesday. Cowboys defeat the New York Giants right here with Hanging with the Boys.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they made just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to Hanging with the Boys. 23-16. Your Dallas Cowboys defeated the New York Football Giants on Monday Night Football. Daniel Jones. You talk about Kirk Cousins struggling in primetime games. Oh, Danny Dimes.
Oh, he's running though.
Danny Dimes is 0-9 in primetime games. He is. When guys look at the schedule, sometimes they like Kirk Cousins has to know, like, damn, we got a Thursday night football game. Damn, we got a Sunday night football game. Damn, we play on Monday night. Like that has to come into play at some point in time. Daniel Jones, another primetime game loss. But Nate, Jason Peters, 40 years old, 9-time Pro Bowler, signed to the Cowboys practice squad. He's been doing this ramp-up thing for the last couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. Finally got to the point last night where they were saying, all right, Jason Peters, you're ready to go. We didn't know where he was going to play. He practiced at tackle,
I knew where he was going, left guard. I talked to Will McClay. I talked to I've been telling you, he's been practicing that left guard.
And he gets in last night and literally, and now this sometimes it's the way just the game goes. Yeah. Literally, he gets in the game. His very first snap is a 46-yard run by Tony Pollard.
Yes.
And he gets at the field, and he looks like he's actually missed his block. And then he kind of puts his foot in the ground and comes back and seals the dude. Tony Pollard comes right off his hip, bursts through the hole for a 46-yard gain. Nate, for a guy like Jason Peters, is this something? I wasn't a fan of the snap count. I figure you're going to play him, play him. If not, then not. Right. All that back and forth communication, all that, I don't like that. Do you think now, going forward, permanently, that Jason Peters is going to be your starting left guard, and that just is going to wait? That's the way it's going to be for the rest of the season.
If you looked at the game, you saw what happened on that run is Jason Peters did exactly what he said. But we were so fortunate because the center, go back and look, lost his man altogether. So not only did Jason Peters come back and block his man, he blocked the center man because he pushed that linebacker into the center's man. Yeah. And, your boy hit it 90 going north because he saw that hole open up and he, like, boom. So a great play by Jason Peters. Yeah. But keep looking at film and you'll see the center and Jason Peters pointing at a lot of people. Mm-hmm. What's that's telling you, fellas? Hey, center, you know you got him.
Yeah, he still doesn't know quite. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get this thing down first before we go all haywire. If you're going to just come in and say, we're going to run it downhill, that's one thing. But, it's a passing game that's in there, too. And everybody's a little exotic because Wink Martindale is exotic. And he was praying that they just leave him in there.
Right.
Because we will find you sooner or later. So how they're doing it, me and you agree. I don't like that right there. Put him in there when he's ready to go in there and stay in there.
You think so? Yeah. I'm wondering, would you consider – because in some ways, is he a progress stopper? He's only going to be here a year maybe.
But our left guard is a third-team guard, and the best he'll ever be is a second-team guard. Mm-hmm. So that means he'll never be a starter.
What about McGovern if he comes back?
That is the big question. Can McGovern play? We put him in last year for 4 games. Is that not a question?
Right.
Can he play?
Sure.
He and Daniel Jones are the same guy. Can Daniel Jones play? Can McGovern play? But we know Peters can play, but he's got to know the plays because if you don't know the plays, eventually you're going to get somebody hurt.
Talking about knowing how to play, we were skeptical coming into this season when Tyron Smith went down and they decided, hey, we're going young boy outside. Tyler Smith is going to now play left tackle. And I know that he hadn't played it for, all training camp. He wasn't practicing all training camp, but we're putting him out here. And Kurt, he seemed to have done, and I think he's still learning every single game. Every single game that especially, it always helps when you win.
Yeah.
But he's learning every single game.
Yeah.
Still had some. He had the holding penalty, then he had a false start penalty. But it seems as if Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy has figured out, let's get this big boy moving.
Yes, sir.
Let's pull him.
Yeah.
Let's get him on the edge. Let's get him. You can tell that he's an athlete.
Yeah.
Is this a formula now for the Cowboys in the running game of saying, hey, big fella, we know you might be the youngest, but we're coming to your side. And we're coming to your side on money downs. So you really got to be in there and step up and do positive things for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's proven he can play, you know. I mean, at this point, you got to start wondering if we're going to see Tyron Smith in that position ever again, you know.
You don't do that. You don't put Tyron back there.
No, I think this is Tyler Smith. This is his job now.
You know, and I hear everybody the flagship state now. I love
What happens to the old adage of you don't lose your job due to injury?
That stopped with Jimmy Johnson in my era. That's
okay.
This is the best five. See, when you holler, and I hear, like I said, here the flagship station, I hear everybody holler this. Everybody say, let's put the best five linemen out there. But what if your best five and your number 4 guy can't play left guard? What if your number 3 guy can't play right tackle? Yeah. And you trying to fit all these pieces. What if they can't play that position?
Right.
Everybody's not. Let's put the best receivers out there. Everybody ain't a slot receiver. So you got 2 or 3 good slot receivers that may be better than your outside guy. Maybe. No. I like this kid out there. You either live and die with that situation. Okay, we'll put him back down at guard when Tyron comes. Why?
Yeah, I think this
Why?
is his
Now
job.
that's a stunt. That's stopping the growth. Peters came in here with the idea that he may play left guard. Let him play left guard. I've talked to Will, I've talked to Hall, and I didn't say, hey, this kid Peters gonna start. I said, but may he get some playing time? Like he may. Now, well, look, he got the playing time, but like I'm telling folks, until he's 100% who to get, still the best guy right now is Matt. And our tight ends, I'm going a little further. Our tight ends are blocking a little harder. They're not no great earth movers. Yeah.
Hendershot, Ferguson.
They are blocking. They are fighting.
Rookies at that.
Yeah, they are fighting. They are fighting. Down block, getting your tackle out. Your tackle going down, getting your guard out. This is what I'm saying. If you are a coach of any kind of experience, you can see that your left guard cannot deal with a power rusher, a power 2-gapping guy. You can see that. So bring that tackle down on him. Let him go upfield and let the all-pro guard hit him in the side of his head. Make him think, make him hesitate, and that gives our left guard a chance until Peters get 100% with the offense.
One question, I need 2 answers. Has
about 3 answers?
No, 2. Has Tyron Smith seen his last days as a starter in a Cowboys uniform?
I think so, to be honest. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if he just flat out retired after this.
Tyron Smith seen his last days as a starter in a Cowboys uniform?
Yeah, I mean, because if he can't play left guard, because you can't, if this is your future and this kid is sitting out there learning, taking these lumps, bumps, and bruises, then, okay, we're going to put you back down in guard because, and then what if, and we know, we all love Tyron, but we know, boom, okay, he hurt again. Mm-hmm. Now we playing musical chairs again? How many years, and may not be no Peters out there the next year. So you're going to keep playing musical chairs instead of knowing what you got and solidifying it? That's what it's all about, consistency. What do you think?
This segment was brought to you by Blockchain, blockchain.com. I think he has. I think Tyron Smith has seen his last days as a starter in the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. Now, he may just say, you know what? I concede and I give the young boy the opportunity to go ahead and do his thing, and I'll be here to mentor and to be a backup if necessary. Yeah. Or he may say, I got a little bit too much pride in being a backup. I've been a starter my whole career. I've been arguably the best left tackle in my time frame, if not the best, at least top 3.
Him and Peters, they're same guy. They're on the same team. The 2 top left tackles have been Peters and this guy Tyron in the same league.
You can add Trent Williams.
Yeah, Trent Williams. Yeah. These are the 3 dogs.
Right. So,
and we got 2 of them.
I don't know, but I think we may have seen, but the Cowboys have always been unlike teams like the Patriots, who will get rid of a guy 2 years before he falls off, the Cowboys at times have held on to guys maybe a tick too long.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's going to happen the same way. Maybe they decided, you know what? Hey, we got something right here. We're going to go right here with these guys.
Well,
but
even with, even Terrence Steele. I mean, is this a top 10 offensive line right now? Because obviously Martin's doing his thing, and Steele hadn't been bad.
Nah.
Last 2 games.
Nah, they just a good offensive line with the coaching staff taking every ounce of their ability and using it to their benefit. You know, they're not trying to move and mash because they don't. Due to your center and your left guard, all it takes is 2, and you got them 2. Center and left guard are not mashers. The other 3 can mash, you know, but those 2 guys can't, and so you'll cripple your team. Mm-hmm. So they're doing everything in their power, Philman, Kellen Moore, to make sure that these guys are having a chance to succeed. And that's getting number 20 on the outside. You see, they even put him in the reverse this week. A single, reverse, not no triple Lindy's and all of that. But you get what I'm saying, Jess?
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah. All right, we'll take our final break of the show. When we come back, we're going to talk about the heart and soul of this Cowboys organization.
That's not that hurt you to say that.
It did. I'm an offensive guy. I'm not going to sit here in front. I want to see the offense be the go-to, like it's been for the last 30 years, 40 years. But times are a-changing. And we're going to talk about this Cowboys defense and how much pressure they cause Daniel Jones, record-setting pressure. Micah still being creating havoc. Tank got into the sack party. Some words from LT about Micah Parsons on his way out.
Well, I want to hear that.
So stay with us.
I want to hear that.
We're hanging with the boys.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of Cowboys fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they made just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great Dallas Cowboys seats.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
Hey, Cowboys fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience AT&T Stadium's exclusive VIP Owners Club. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to Hanging with the Boys. This segment is brought to you by Game Day Minicamp. Join former NFL players for our first Game Day Minicamp presented by Invisalign. Drop your kids off at the Ford Center on October 7th from 11:30 to 3:30 p.m. while you watch the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Commanders game from your favorite restaurant in the Star District. To register your footballer for camp, visit dallascowboys.com/academy. So if your little one wants to play football, likes football, and you just want to get him out your hair for a little while, drop their tail off. Drop him off. Drop her off, him off. Drop their tail off, man, and y'all go have a couple drinks, but don't get too lit. The Cowboys defeat the Giants 23-16 at MetLife Stadium last night on Monday Night Football, and a lot of it had to do because of this defense. Dan Quinn being the Geppetto of this defense, the string puller of this defense, his captain, Micah Parsons, has been a revelation, has been something that this defense has not seen in a while. And I'm talking about even with DeMarcus Ware.
Right.
I played with DeMarcus Ware. DeMarcus wasn't I think the impact that DeMarcus Ware had, and DeMarcus, I think it will be a Hall of Famer. Should have been a first ballot, whatever, and has led the league in sacks before. But just the ability to be as versatile. DeMarcus Ware lined up all the time, defensive end. You knew where he was going to be at every single time. Micah lines up in so many different positions, and he stresses your offensive line to the point of no return. And because of his versatility and because of his ferociousness, he now has created these one-on-one matchups for guys like Dorrance Armstrong, like Bohanna, like Tank Lawrence, like Leighton Vander Esch. I mean, and the list
going
goes
into the
on
secondary,
and on
like Donovan Wilson.
Donovan Wilson.
Yeah, go on it up.
Because offenses are so worried about where he's lined up and how we're going to stop him. Last night, Daniel Jones was pressured the most he's ever been pressured in his NFL career. Ever. Yeah. When they hit that number, there was still time left. And Dan Quinn was still bringing pressure. And it just creates this. And you saw Daniel Jones, he was trying to get out of there quick. He was trying to move. And that pocket was collapsing, and those guys were coming from everywhere. Defensively, this Cowboys defense leads the league in sacks right now, collectively as a whole.
How many they got, Jess?
You would ask
about 25.
They probably do. I mean,
I'm serious.
They're
13,
probably
13. Yeah.
Tank has 3. Dorrance has 2. Micah has 4. LVE has 1. There's probably a Bohanna sack in there somewhere. Right. Everybody's eating. Everybody's absolutely eating at this sack party. Is this? I guess we had the same question last year about the turnovers. Is this type of pressure, and with the addition of sacks to that, is this sustainable, Nathaniel Newton? Is this type of pressure, is these type of totaling up these sacks, is this a sustainable thing for the Cowboys defensively?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, because when you got one guy doing this, let's say if this was Parsons all by himself, this is one thing. But we knew that DeMarcus Lawrence has this ability. We finding out that Dante Fowler ain't no slouch. So these guys, all we got to do is get Sam Williams to join the party legally, and then we'll have something going. Because now this guy creates one-on-one pass rush, and these guys we mentioned, Dorrance Armstrong ain't gonna be denied. DeMarcus Lawrence ain't gonna be denied. So these guys gonna do their thing. They are literally gonna do their thing. So you can keep this up. You can keep up the 3-4 sacks a game, or better still, 2 to 3 sacks a game. You can keep this up. I don't know what the end of the year would be, but 2 to 3 sacks, it should always be a possibility with this group of guys.
For sure.
Kurt, on the back end, I guess the recipients of this pressure has to be the secondary.
Yeah.
You're without Jaron Kearse due to a knee injury, and you've seen a guy like Donovan Wilson, who had 11 tackles last night. He had 9 solos. He had a tackle for loss. He's even gotten in on the sack party as well.
Yeah.
So we talk about, and you hear it so much about next man up, and we talk about, competition and controversy. Or is this a case where you look at now, you're saying Donovan Wilson's playing so well, when Jaron Kearse comes back, is he now splitting reps with him, or like how does that work when you see a player like Donovan Wilson step up and play the way he's playing?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Donovan's proven he deserves time out there, And so, what are you saying? It's coverage, maybe not.
No, wait a second. Kurt, don't get off your point now. Don't get off your point.
I'm going to help my boy now.
Don't get off your point.
I ain't going to help my boy. I'm going to help my boy. I'm going to help my boy. Who got put in space yesterday? If Kearse would have been there, who wouldn't have got exposed in space yesterday?
Well, yeah.
Be 10 toes down in your opinion, Kurt.
No, Nate knows better.
He's saying it with his chest.
I guess what I'm saying is
say it with your new.
Last year they ran so much of that hype. they ran
situation. Say it with that.
Don't be bringing it. Last year they ran so much of that hybrid safety with Curse in there. I would think if anything you'd see all three of them out there.
Let me say this.
But Nate knows about coverage and all that.
Let me say now. So. I don't know about coverage. No, but let me say this right here. When there's no Curse, then you're asking, what's our new linebacker?
Barr.
You're asking him to get a little bit exposed. Donovan Wilson ain't as good when you put them back-to-back on tight ends or running backs. You don't want that open space on that second level with these guys.
But you get the pressure, right? So the pressure means
you will not always have that pressure.
Right.
So sometimes you have to
those are the moments that you hope that they don't catch.
Right. And they caught us yesterday twice with our big what's our linebacker name?
Barr, Anthony Barr.
Yeah. They caught him at that open. You don't want that. Curse, and for the big plays that Donovan make, he'll get caught, standing in his shoes sometime too. I'd rather have that sure thing in Curse all the time than,
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's just my opinion. Now, if y'all want to split time, split time.
I know Donovan gets a lot of criticism for kind of his.
Yeah, man.
But he's that big hitter. He's the guy. Yeah.
This is what I believe. This is what I believe.
The children are our future.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
And let them lead the way.
Yes, that's why you don't need to leave your school. This is what I believe. When you play equal to better competition, you have to be a little bit more precise. Mm-hmm. And that's what Curse gives us, that being a little bit more precise, being a little bit more in control. Yeah. And and Donovan Wilson has his spots in every game. Yeah. He should play every game. I saw the young Bell in there. But what's going to separate the big boys from the little boys is the least amount of bad plays in the bigger games. Bigger games are coming.
Just talking about those safeties, it seems like Malik Hooker's kind of under the radar, having a pretty nice year so far.
Not saying a word, just maintaining his reps. Not saying a word, just maintaining his reps.
I do believe that secondary has benefited immensely
from the pressure.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Because you're not these 15, 20-plus yard routes just don't have the time to develop. Yeah. They don't have time to develop. Quarterbacks ain't looking that far anymore because they're like, man, where is 11 at? And you saw last night Micah Parsons, who's battled some things this week, last week with health. They called it a cold. I later found out it was something more than a cold, but that'll stay for off air.
13 sacks.
But you saw him last night still be a force, but also look. He's at times look human. Right, look gassed, a little bit tired, fatigued. That could have been some of.
Stud.
Gets
talking about
double teams every time.
You talking
Micah
about
Parsons?
But I'm just saying, Parsons said he didn't care if he used the restroom and if he boo booed in his clothes, he was gonna be out there. Then they asked him, "You did your boo boo?" Like, nah. You can't set yourself up all the time. He said, "My boo boo in my clothes." Did you boo boo? No, I didn't.
And of course, at the end of the game, we heard the comments prior to the game from Lawrence Taylor about being the greatest of all time, especially defensively. And after the game, as he's walking up the field, they're asking him about, so what do you think about Micah Parsons? And he, in LT fashion, he goes, he's a pretty good player. Now let's see if he can do that for 13 dang years.
Yeah.
So, some say that LT was salty because they lost. I don't think that he was salty.
But they got his boy put into Leonard Marsh. They put him into the Ring of Honor with a few other guys, and they needed a victory.
They needed a victory?
Yeah, so it didn't happen.
And by the way, Jesse, that was pregame.
That was pregame. Okay.
That was pregame. Okay, I was standing right there.
Okay, I thought that was postgame.
No,
I apologize.
But check this out. Let me ask you this right quick, brother. You too, Kurt, since he, let me ask you this question right quick, We played Tampa Bay. We played Cincinnati. We played New York. What do you feel about this team?
I think this team is still evolving. I think this team has potential. I appreciate when guys go down, other guys have to come in and step up and play. And I think that helps your football team Because once you get into late December, now what you've had guys who are second and third stringers who've had to get first team reps for a large portion of the time, that now when your first teamers come back, if you have to revert back to those guys again, whether it's injury or whatever it may be, those guys aren't deer in the headlights.
They're confident.
Yeah. They're confident. Yeah. You're confident as a play caller, offensively and defensively, as a coach. You're not worried about, does this guy know what to do, know where to be, and that you don't have to kind of, quote-unquote, scale back what you want to do because there's a new guy in the mix when these guys had an opportunity to get those reps all year long.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, you think it's pretty amazing. I mean, they've won 2 games now with a winnable game coming up, and they, without their starting quarterback, without their number 2 receiver, without maybe their number 3 receiver, without their starting tight end, without their starting left tackle or left guard. I mean, they're setting themselves. They're getting through this tough stretch now, like you said, and get those guys back. Maybe they'll get rolling.
And we didn't even talk about your number 1 wide receiver today, who dropped a pass. And we'll talk about him tomorrow.
Yes, sir, CD.
We'll talk about him tomorrow.
CD, big play Lamb.
I don't know about all
CD,
that.
I would catch it with one hand over the left shoulder and fall out of bounds and double tap. What's the little dance they be doing? The squiggly wiggly, the
gritty?
the itty gritty, the moolah lily. All of these young boys.
Too easy.
He came out his bag yesterday after that drop.
We'll talk more about that tomorrow.
He came out his bag, Jesse.
The frustrating
He came out his bag, Jesse.
Of having CD Lamb as your number 1 receiver, you saw the gift and the curse.
You saw the curse of what? Of CD Lamb scorching these Giants? That's the curse that you saw?
I didn't do this in the opener, so I'll do it in the closing.
Mr. Jones, Michael Irvin, Nate Newton.
Exactly. That is Nate Newton. He is Kurt Daniels.
Sir.
I am Jesse Holly. Together we are hanging with the boys.
Hanging!
We are the sports equivalent of, what did I say? We're the sports
Braille.
Golly, people feel
That
us.
curse.
I'm tired. I really am tired. People feel us when we speak. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you, CD Lamb, Lamster, Jason Ferguson, my first round pick. Way to go, baby.
We're moving on, right? Tomorrow's Cowboys offense, Commanders defense. We don't have 24 hours to celebrate anymore.
Right.
Cowboys offense, Commanders defense tomorrow. Come back here with us, hanging with the boys.
Thank you, Jesse.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.